In this video, I want to quickly show you how you can add your own custom language to Frappe. So Frappe by default has 84 languages, of course at October 15th, 2025. There could be more languages that are coming, and that's why I'm teaching you how you can add your own language here. So if you look closely here, you cannot create a new language from here. All right, but I'm going to show you a few things that you need to do. Number one is that you need to create your own app. Okay, for example, you know, when we talk about apps, ERPNext, Frappe, and payments, these are apps that have been done by Frappe. Of course, there is many more. There is, for example, apps like the HR, there is education, and there is many others. And then here we have apps like this Addis, which I have created. All right, so what you're going to do is to first of all make sure you have your own custom app, and then you go inside your custom app one level, go into inside the next level, and then here create a folder that you're going to call translations. And then inside that translations, you're going to create your language file. So if you want to do multiple languages, you're going to have multiple files here. So for example, I want to translate from English to the Meru language. Okay, so I'm going to call this mru.csv. So you need to create your CSV file here. This CSV file is basically going to contain the translations. So for example, the English word and what you want to translate it to into whatever language you want to translate into. In my case, it's English. And then the other thing that I need to mention here is that MRU is not a standard thing. This is the code that you choose for your language. So if maybe it's Kikuyu, it could be KYK, it could be KIK, it could be KK, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. And then the other thing that we're going to do here now is to put our translations. I had prepared some, so I'm just going to copy and put them here. And as you can see, I have sales invoice translating into this. I have customer translating into this. I have supplier translating into that, and so on and so forth. So just a few of them to guide us through. So when we go back here, I want us to open here, and I want us to go home. You notice that inside here we have, let me go back here, inside here we have item, submit, supplier, customer, and sales invoice. So it means that item, customer, supply, sales invoice, all these guys are supposed to be translated when our translation kicks into action. All right. So after this, what is the next thing? We are done. So remember, this file is going to be quite long because we are going to make all the translations into this file. All right. So we can close that, and we are done with that. The next thing is to add our language here. And you remember me telling you that we can't add it here. We probably need to go into the bench console. Let me make this a bit larger for the sake of your eyes. That's too big, is it? Maybe that. All right. And then here, I think I have, yeah. So we are going to do bench site, the name of our site, and then console. And then inside console, we are ideally going to run our code. So let me get this away, and then we go ahead and write our code here. So we are going to give it a code like language, and then we are going to say language equals frappe.get doc. Frappe.get doc. That's the standard standard command to create a new document here. And then here we are going to say doc type, and our doc type is going to be the language doc type. Okay. And then after that, we are going to have the other things that the language document expects. So we can, I don't want to close that because we want to see it changing, but here we can go into doc types or a doc type list. If you look for language, language is here. If you look for language, it expects the language code. So we are going to pick this language code and put it inside here. And our language code, remember, this is important that this matches the file name. So I think I did MRU. Let me just confirm. I did MRU. Cool. And then the other thing that you are going to be needing, according to this, is the language name. So I can copy it, and then I take it here and put it. And then the last thing that you're going to be needing, according to what is required here, is this button, whether it's enabled or not. So it's very important to, of course, make it enabled. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to use it. So we enabled, and we're going to mark enabled as 1. All right. Let me see whether I did everything. So we have language. Okay. I believe that's all we need. We have an error. Let's see what it is. we have that, yes. So we don't have language name, we don't have, so the language name is going to be Meru. There you go. So we were missing this. All right, so we have the doc type as a language, the language code is MRU, the language name is Meru, and then enable this one. So let's run that now. It works. And then we're going to pick this and say this is going to be dot insert. Cool, it inserts, and then we are going to do frappe.db.commit, and we are good. If now we come to the list of our languages again, we should find a language called Meru here, and there it is, created now. All right, and you can see it is enabled. There you go. So we are done creating our language, but that's not enough. So if you refresh this, this is still going to be in English. So the next step that we're going to do is to go to my profile here, and then you go to user settings. And now, by the way, even before we do this, that's it. We have already added our language and these translations into the system. I just want to show you that it is working in this other step. So when we do that, we save. Now this user, the logged in user who is in this time an administrator, is using the Meru language. So let's go back to this document. These are supposed to change. Let me refresh and see whether that happens. And there you go. You see, what was item becomes this. What was that? I don't even remember what this. Yeah, this was customer, this was suppliers, and this was sales invoice. So if you click on this, you will notice that this is going to take you to the sales invoices. You can see translations happening there, and so on and so forth. So for example, if you want to translate accounting into something else, all you need to do is just to come to your file. Let me bring it back. You need to come to your file, and then you put in sales invoice. So you're going to copy this and put it here and say accounting, and then you're going to say, for example, this is just a test. Yeah, so it's nothing hard, like correct translations for everything, you know. I think I need to restart my bench. So we are done with this one, so I can close it to get this away, and then we see whether if I translate, if I restart my bench, we see whether this accounting is going to change into what we have put there. But ladies and gentlemen, that is how you do translation. So even before that reloads, that's how you add your own custom language inside, and you can see that changed. That's how you add your own custom language inside Frappe. All the best as you explore.